imposed on us by the rational manufacturing of materials and structure. Be free of it to make curves, if you wish, and still adhere to the principle economy of means to the greatest possible extent. And to obtain a plan that's free as well of the confining terms of the orthogonal, which are relentless now, as I've said already. We have a freer plan which offers contractions and expansions and exciting places of encounter. It encourages certain kinds of social experience, which I'm very excited about. The way these circulation elements loop around, for example, the archive space, allowing people to perceive the archives from public space. The way the restaurant is open to the water and still embedded in the sequence, very adjacent to the most important pivotal point as we move through the galleries. All of those things, how to incorporate multi-height spaces for multi-purpose exhibition, which are very different in their loading and their constraints and dimensions from the permanent collection spaces, which generally are smaller. They don't so easily coordinate in plans, so frequently you get buildings that are just sort of very clumsy, have big rooms and smaller galleries, and no idea about how to make them come together. This kind of form and this kind of movement brings together these things, and then even will permit a plan like this of classrooms and education areas, apartments for visiting artists and other things, and a roof garden at the top for those people as well, which overlooks the waterfront. It's a building that tries to sort of absorb the landscape, but internally rather than so explicitly as the other, to offer that space to the inhabitants rather than only to people who encounter it from the outside. It's inside out and outside in building in that way. How then these buildings play out in time, the long-term question of how they will live with us for the time they must endure is something that fascinates and interests me deeply. I look at buildings of Saarinen and I ask the question to myself, do the buildings of Saarinen continue to be contemporary? These are interesting questions to ask when you talk about duration and perception. The reception of buildings and our understanding of their freshness or their, let's say, tiredness. What remains is a question that's always on my mind. One of the hopes that I have for this kind of architecture is that if it becomes more disciplined and more, let's say, integral to questions that are clear to the discipline, like the way space is organized in the city, like the way an institution, a museum, or a library work, and are disciplined by the way we build, rather than only the free expression of the artistic imagination. They are disciplined. I believe they have a better chance to sustain the question of time, but time will tell. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's already very late, so if you have questions...
I try to be short.
Yeah, I know. If you have a question, maybe you ask him directly. I wish you a nice evening. We will start tomorrow at 3 p.m. with the lecture of Azo Bruno from Ronald Arrow Studio. Thank you. Have a nice evening.